Welcome to Board Ghost, a story broadcast with games as the engine.
If living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there, or has it been forever? 'Cause dying don't agree with me, no. Dying don't agree with me, no. All you board ghosts, come with me, we're going home.
We believe you're out there, hungry for stories for shared experiences. We can't see you, can't hear you, yet we will play for you. This night's offering is a continuation of our game of Kingdom in the Kingdom Hurtview Manor. To find out how we generated the story in our game, the story through our game, go check out our primer episode on Kingdom. I'm one of your players, John Holt. With me is...
Always is Ken Breese. Hey, everybody.
Returning again to complete our tale.
I'm Sharang Biswas.
All right.
Yay, welcome.
Cool. So we'll kind of run through our characters as we kind of give you a tidbit about what happened last time, and then we'll roll into our story. Sharang, why don't you start us off?
So my character for the entirety of our first episode played the role of Touchstone, who has the pulse on the emotions of the denizens of our kingdom. Remember, our kingdom is all the denizens of a haunted house. So my character is the Bogeyman, who is a Bogeyman and doesn't know how they died, and how they ended up there, and has to feed off of fear, which was at odds with their goal at that time, their wish, which was to have living children, live in the house to be raised by us. That wish has changed based on the event on the last episode. Now our wish is to welcome the new ghosts in our house, including a baby who's mysteriously vanished. We don't really know what's happened to the baby, and make them feel welcome and make them feel like they should stay. My Bogeyman is particularly connected to the nursery, where he lives in the walk-in closet, and he's connected to the strange room at the bottom of the dry well. My Bogeyman is also somehow connected to John's character, the well-dressed suicide. He feels that he had something to do with the suicide's death, but can't place exactly what.
Yes.
All right. So I'm playing the well-dressed suicide, who is currently the perspective, and through the last episode was the perspective in the manor. And he's a faceless spirit in Tales who is beholden to a spirit called the White Lady. And he generally has a wish that the manor could bring more people in. The locations he's usually associated with are the gate at the end of the drive and this ballroom that is partially remodeled. He, in the previous episode, was affecting the family that moved in and working with the other spirits to drive them to an act that led to, sort of a family murder.
Murderous insanity.
Yeah. And he, as a younger spirit in the house, he was used to enforce the will of Ken's character, the baby doll.
That's right, the baby doll. Baby doll is the oldest spirit that's living in Hurtview Manor, ostensibly the leader of the spiritual community. Baby doll is very focused on the safety of the community and handing out or enacting justice in the community, kicking people out if needs be. The baby doll is very, very worried that if they ever perish, their spirit will go directly to hell. They are very sure that this will happen to them. They never want to leave the semblance of life that they have. The baby doll also has a fear that the kingdom will never see true love in action. There will never be something that the kingdom experiences. Baby doll can most often be found in the ballroom or the nursery, and the baby doll does have a bond with Boogie in that Boogie is baby doll's favorite singer and is someone who can calm baby doll.
And if you'd like to hear some of those dulcet tones of mine, you could listen to our last episode.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And maybe we'll get some more. We resolved the main crossroads of our kingdom last session, which was, will Hurtview Manor let the Faithly family stay? Which we ended up answering yes to, though in a sort of an odd way, because we let them stay as spirits because they all died. They were killed either by us or by their own hand. So we need a new crossroad now that we're about to start a new scene.
Right, and that'll be part of when we get into play.
That's right.
Right. And so before we do that, one last overview at our kingdom itself. We are in Hurtview Manor, a haunted manor on the Mississippi, a former plantation house with history stretching back pre-Civil War, antebellum, and to current day, loaded with spirits. Most recently, the Faithleys, the minister and his family, starting with their dog.
And in our
Just
fiction,
lousy with them. King. The dog's name was King.
Yeah.
in our fiction, we also established a couple more spirits. We have the White Lady. We have the boy in green, who we somehow in the past drove mad, who drools a lot. And we have this hanging tree where so many people have hanged themselves that their spirits have been absorbed by the tree and has become sentient. And it likes to listen in on conversations.
Yeah, it's like a communal spiritual tree. Like it's
and the baby may or may not be
We'll
trapped
find
in
out.
it.
We'll find out what's going on with the baby.
So there are a few.
Listen to that last episode to see where we left the baby.
So there are a few threats still in play. There's the threat of potential rezoning or destruction of the manor. There's the threat of exorcism, though we're not sure what the outcome of that would be. And there's this threat of vanishing and fading spirits. So some spirits we've lost touch with, and we're not sure exactly where to or why. So location-wise, there is a greenhouse/hothouse. There's the room beneath the well. There's the new addition, a parlor. There's the nursery and the cupboard where the Bogeyman lives. And the gate at the end of the drive, along with our final location, the ballroom, which is in perpetual mid-renovation.
And we last established that much of the mirror work in the ballroom has now been broken.
That's right.
So another thing to renovate in the ballroom.
Yet another thing to renovate in the ballroom.
All right.
It's mid-renovation.
So from there, we'll roll into our story. Ken is the current player.
I am the current player, but one point of clarification I'll ask the group. What is the name of the baby that was given to the spirit tree last session? Do we have
Charity.
Charity.
Charity Faithfully.
Very good. Cool. So then we will roll into our first scene. But first, let's talk about our new crossroads. We resolved our first crossroad last session, which was, will Hurtview Manor let the Faithleys stay? We said yes. They mostly stayed as spirits. Our new crossroads is directly tied to that. And the new crossroad is, will Hurtview Manor accept baby Charity as one of their own?
Ooh.
Baby Charity, over the past few years since we last saw her, has become a member of the unliving. She is neither dead nor alive.
Ooh, so different from all of us.
Indeed. So she can hear us and talk with us and interact with us, but also very easily with the living. I'm thinking of her almost as like a ghoul or a wight of some type. Like she might even eat flesh or something. Like she's turned into like a monster, basically.
Can we say she...
But she's a baby.
Can we say she
was a baby.
unburied the family dog and ate it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
And she has some like abilities.
Yeah. Baby
Yeah.
Baby
Oh.
Charity has some ability. She has some weird abilities.
And if people need a reminder, Baby Charity was left inside the suicide tree
I
where she
I feel like she
germinated.
suckled. Yeah, she suckled on there like on the blood sap.
Right. It was like like the uterus.
Yeah,
of the
exactly. Yeah, you did. You put
She
her right into the bowl.
gestated in
She
there,
gestated
yeah.
in the murder tree, in the hanging tree,
and became something.
and became
new.
something unliving. Exactly. And now that the community is faced with this question, is Baby Charity one of us? And I guess we're going to find that out. Cool. So this is a number of years after our last session. I think the scene that I'm going to set is the three of us, the well-dressed suicide, and the Bogeyman, and the baby doll having a secret meeting in somewhere we haven't been before. The greenhouse, the hothouse. We are there.
The tree is standing.
The tree's there as well. Yeah, the tree's totally there. Exactly. We need the tree's whatever information or their expertise.
The tree is really good at listening and recording information.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very good at it. Baby doll says, "I haven't seen the white lady in weeks. I think she's vanished.
Not another one.
This child amongst us, I think she has something to do with it. Have you heard from or seen the white lady?
And the
Faceless?
well-dressed
Well-dressed
suicide crosses his chest, saying not,
Not.
and raises three fingers. It's
Yeah.
been 3 moons since he's seen the white lady.
Yeah.
So we know that the well-dressed suicide doesn't speak. He
Yeah.
signs.
He
and we all
signs. He doesn't have a
understand him.
face
Yeah.
or a mouth.
Or a mouth.
Yeah.
I have no mouth and I cannot scream. The boogeyman is the boogeyman likes. Remember, his aim is to
Exactly.
make all these people feel welcome. So he's a bit upset, but he also is worried about. Well, yeah, but I can't make everyone disappear. What's happening? I'm not sure. And is like, should we wait a little longer to see what happens?
We've been waiting. We've been watching.
Maybe we should send her on a mission outside the house and see if that changes anything.
Yes, we could send Baby Charity through the gates, but such a thing has never been done before. She may not come back.
She is something that has never been done before.
This is true. But she has not known any world but our own. She did not grow up amongst the living. She does not know their ways.
Who is our most mobile spirit?
The well-dressed suicide gestures like 4 legs,
Okay. Oh, the dog.
and he says, and you know that he means the dog.
King,
Perhaps
the dog
we
king.
should send the royal hound with her as a guardian.
Perhaps. But the hound also has no understanding. What would we send her for, Boogie?
What do we need? Perhaps to stop the... And the boogeyman has no face, but if he did, he would like wrinkle. He'd like, but he's made of shadow. So like perhaps those construction workers need some reminding that this house is not theirs to construct.
And the well-dressed suicide does a series of complex gestures. And
Go on.
you understand that it means that the recent development that's grown up,
Right, the nearby.
Peaceful Meadows,
Yeah, Peaceful Meadows.
that is now like they've torn down an orchard across the way, and we now see these rows and rows of stretching off over the hill, these similar houses.
Pastel-colored ticky-tacky houses.
With people, already a few families moving in, and he expresses that we should send her out amongst them.
I really wish you would learn how to speak telepathically. Yes, sending her out is not a bad idea. It will show her.
Maybe she can then decide for herself.
It is not up to her. It is up to us if we want her here or not. But I would be more inclined, she will not stop growing. Perhaps if she finds a companion. But something else is troubling me. If the White Lady has disappeared, perhaps our problems are bigger.
We should investigate the secrets of this house. Because even to us, there are many hidden things. And I look pointedly at our suicide guy, because I know he has a lot of hidden depths and knows a lot of things of the house that he doesn't say, and honestly cannot say, because the signs for them are even more complicated.
How do you feel about this child, Faceless?
He gestures that he can guide her. He can test her abilities and will undertake sending her out, if even temporarily.
Very well. Then we are agreed. And that's where our scene will end. We can do reflections, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Are you changing your role?
Yeah, but that's on my turn.
Yeah,
right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my thingy, that thing that I do now, is I am in the ballroom where the dog died, and I am like trying to like train the dog.
Train the dog?
Like that's what I do. I want to make everyone feel good, so I'm like trying to teach the dog how to defend, like teaching him ghostly things to how to defend the girl in case it needs to happen. Oh, and the drooling boy in green really likes the dog.
Yeah.
So he's like, wee.
Yes. Yeah.
That's my reaction.
Baby Doll's reaction is cautious hope that baby Charity might be able to find true love. And that being the case, we'll say that if baby Charity is accepted as one of their own, that Baby Doll promises Charity's hand in marriage to our well-dressed suicide.
When she's older.
When she's older. Much older, yes, of course. Much older.
But time means very little
Exactly.
to us as ghosts.
Exactly.
Like, it'll happen.
And
whatever.
she's a growing undead creature.
Yeah.
For sure.
She's a growing ghost.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what Baby Doll really wants. She wants a marriage. She wants an undead marriage.
So the well-dressed suicide is aware of, like, knows where this is going to go. It, like, if using this creature,
Right.
this thing, and he knows that if we accept it, if it will absorb all of us one by one.
Oh.
And become a power unto itself.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
And if we don't accept it, then it is likely to be discovered, and in turn we will be discovered.
So either we risk discovery or destruction. Those are the choices. Okay.
Love it. Love it.
Love it.
Tragedy.
I'm going to. The crisis is coming, you guys. That's at the end of my turn. I will mark a crisis box.
That's so interesting because
The crisis is coming.
interesting. Okay. So since we're nearly, I'm actually gonna stay. It's fine. I'll stay as the touchstone because
Okay.
we might. And so my thing, I'm gonna say that after Fred died, the son, the 16-year-old son died. It's been a few years.
Yep.
But you know that story is still around.
Yeah.
And the local kids who heard the story have this thing where they dare each other to like spend an evening in the house.
Sure, of course.
Maybe not alone. They could be in groups.
Yeah,
I don't
in
know.
groups,
Yeah, let's say
wherever.
groups, or like steal something from the house. You know, all
Yeah.
these like things to do with the house. Like, oh my God, one of our someone a few years above us like died. Okay. And so I use that as an opportunity to train Fred.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say the scene is, let's say the new wing. We haven't used the new wing yet.
Yep.
So the new wing is like a parlor kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't like it because there's a piece of abstract expressionist art on the walls.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, what is this garbage?
This is awful. Anyway, so it's like midnight, and these kids have been here the whole day. We've been observing them.
Oh, okay.
Because I've been like training like Fred. It's like a holiday or something, so they're like out of school and they're like here. Fred, I'm gonna say, has, because he was denied his girlfriend last time.
I know.
So he's been eyeing a boy in this group named Josh.
Are Josh and his buddies, are they like drinking beer and stuff
Yeah,
like that?
sure.
Or like
Yeah,
they're hanging
they're sitting
out
in
and,
here.
like-
They're sitting in this parlor.
Yeah.
They picked this room because it has the glass walls, and so it doesn't feel as scary and dark as the other rooms. So that's why they're in here. They're
And
like,
did they like break into the house and
Yes.
they're like hanging out? Yeah.
they climbed over the front gate,
Sure.
and they found the front door open. They haven't noticed that a tree has appeared beside this glass room that they haven't seen before.
Love this
'Cause
tree.
It's our eavesdropping hanging
Yeah.
tree. And they're these three boys. They're like 16. They're like punky. They're like, they think they're punky.
Sure.
And they're like drinking beer. And Fred is rather taken with the leader of them called Josh. And I'm like, good. Do you remember the white lady? You must do the same that she did. So I'm like teaching him how to like seduce the boy or whatever and use his powers.
Fred looks at them and sort of cocks his head, and as you
Yeah, so you've always been Fred, so yeah.
As you say, white lady, he says, I do not know who you're talking about.
And
What white lady?
And I'm really worried. That's very disconcerting that like he doesn't remember. Do you not remember the lady with the flowing dress who you met with your dog in the ballroom?
I remember death, and I remember my father's eyes blazing.
Oh, so the father is here. That's important to remember. Yeah.
It might be interesting too if they don't, like, after death, it's a disconnect, like what happened to lead up to it. So they have like these drives and these like passions.
Like because we don't know our deaths. Yeah, that makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah,
like they sort of lose
we
this-
know how they died, but maybe they don't know
Yeah,
exactly.
because
Right.
we don't know how we died.
Right.
And even like
You might actually know how I died
Possibly.
and he died. Yeah.
possibly.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
that's all.
Oh, okay. So,
kinda saying that-
I'm gonna be like, no matter, but, and I instruct him on like certain
Yes.
tips and tricks on seducing this boy. Even though it's weird because I don't do that. That's not my style. But I've seen the white lady and I've seen you do that. So
Yeah.
It's also like activating yourself.
yeah, like manifesting and
Yeah.
becoming corporeal, and then using your suggestive influence.
Right.
stuff.
And sort of that's where his efforts start to lead him, is that it's almost like fireflies are showing up in the air. Like there's these sort of like poofs of sort of like
will-o'-the-wisps
illumination.
kind of
yeah,
thing.
little wisps of glowing sort of things. And as the boys, the teenagers are like listening to their, Bluetooth, punk rock,
a punk rock, yeah.
music, as it were. They probably have a portable, player,
Blink 364.
as it were. Yes. Yeah. They're like drinking beers and they're like throwing bottles around and they're smashing and they're just sort of like whatever, messing some stuff up.
And that annoys me a little bit.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm
here in the
like, okay, I
parlor.
don't like this room, but still, this is our house. And only I'm allowed to criticize the modern art here, not outsiders. So I tell Fred, I'm like, now is the time.
And so Fred
Take them.
begins to like manifest as like sort of a dark form in like the corner of the room. The boys don't recognize or notice rather
Okay.
at first.
The tree shivers in excitement.
And then I think this dark form just begins to like grow almost to like giant size. It's sort of
like
like
kind of bending.
yeah, it's
over
like
the
bending
ceiling.
over the ceiling and just sort
Yeah.
of like the beams are
Things
starting
you
to
do for love.
beams are starting to crack and like it's almost like air is expanding out of the room and causing the timbers to creak. And yeah, I guess what are the boys
So what do
doing,
the boys
John?
do, John?
The two of the guys, two of the guys bolt.
Yeah.
They just ditch their friend, like, cheese it, oh my God, what's going on? And they run out of there. Oh no.
Forget the Bluetooth.
This is crazy. And they're like, what the hell? We drank too many beers. What's in that tobacco? That wacky tobacco. So
This place is haunted.
So they rush out of there, and the object of desire is Josh is frozen in place.
Yes, exactly. And instead of a sort of a sexual sort of manifestation and sort of a sexual longing, I think that Freddy is tapping into a power fantasy of Josh's, where he's very large, enveloping,
So
Passant.
the boogeyman is like, not exactly the right method, but I guess it will suffice.
and Fred is like, worship me to the kid.
Oh, well, that's interesting. How does the kid react to that, John?
So the kid, like, his jaw falls and he, like, wets himself.
Yeah.
Begins to squeak out, like, a little, like, he's about to speak.
Yeah.
The boogeyman's eating.
Yeah.
He's eating fear.
Sucking in this fear. I don't know what you guys think of this. That's when maybe Charity rises up behind him.
Yes.
Behind Josh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to say Charity so Fred and the boogeyman's aim is to, like, seduce or take over or take the mind of Josh, but Charity, being this weird flesh-eating thing, rises up and, like, jumps, like, literally, like, leaps
Just
on his
leaps
shoulder.
on him.
and then starts, like, eating him.
Feeding.
Like, biting his neck.
Feeding him, which is annoying, which is cool because for a moment there's a flare of fear, which I feed on, but, like, that's not what I was teaching Fred.
Right.
So this
Yeah.
is really annoying, and I'm, like, annoyed at Charity for eating this person. Bad Charity, no! So I'm going to end the scene. So I'm going to say we definitely, like, letting Charity stay with us, this is definitely informs that.
Yes. Okay, so we're
But
in the scene.
I'm actually also, as my power as touchstone,
you are.
I'm going to also add a crisis because those two boys ran away.
Oh, so we're going to execute our crisis soon.
And Josh is dead, right?
And Josh died.
Gets
Yeah.
eaten.
Like that wasn't the plan.
That
plan
was not
to,
the
like,
plan. That was not.
Do
the
we
plan.
want to do our
Seduce him and
reactions
make him
before
ours.
we?
Yeah, let's do reactions.
reactions
let's
before
do
we do that.
reactions.
Yeah. So do you want to react first, or
I don't really.
It's kind of in your
extra reaction. Yeah.
so the well-dressed suicide is in?
Oh, sorry.
No,
I will interrupt. I should use my power about the feelings. So I'm gonna say the ghosts are annoyed at the kid, at the ghoul,
Yeah.
for eating this
That Charity.
because that I'm training people. That's my power. Okay.
Yeah.
So the well-dressed suicide is watching this exchange from inside, like a reflection in the glass of the wall, and nods. Yes. Doesn't say yes, but nods the yes.
Silently.
And watches as the spirit of Josh doesn't go out into the manor.
Whoa.
Oh, it gets taken in by the
By
baby
Charity.
by
by
Charity.
Charity. Yeah, it gets sucked in. Gets sucked by Charity.
And the well-dressed suicide fades out of the reflection.
Baby doll is pissed off at Boogie. Off at Boogeyman. Boogeyman is really endangering our kingdom. He's endangering Hurtview. You're teaching these people how to do this. You're teaching these spirits have no business doing these things. Baby doll calls for a trial for the Boogeyman
Oh
to see
no!
if he should be kicked out of the Hurtview. That's
Okay,
That's
so
my reaction.
crisis.
So yeah, now we resolve the crisis because our crisis is
now we
filled up.
resolve the crisis.
And so I would hazard to say that the crisis is one of our external forces
Yeah.
because I triggered it because of the
Yeah.
boys running away.
Yeah.
It
Kingdom's
could
on.
also be our vanishing because the child is eating me.
Yeah. So I guess we'll start with the end game
Yeah.
resolution.
So I'm gonna say, can I set the scene as like we're about to have this trial, but
Right.
but as it's happening, like a mob of angry and scared and superstitious, rightly so,
Right.
townsfolk
Are showing up.
like show up, and that riles up because the baby is not in the trial. Charity's not in the trial. She
No.
doesn't take part in politics, but she like rises up because of all this activity and like reveals herself as this freakish undead thing.
I mean, we are at the end game. It seems
Yeah,
like
so
this
this is gonna be the end.
This
Yeah.
is the end.
Oh, that's what you meant
Yeah.
by end.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah.
No, it's a perfect. That's a perfect way to set the scene.
So what is the
endgame.
crisis? So if it's not clear, describe the nature of the crisis. The person who checked the box can
yeah.
start, and we should all sort of generally
that-
agree
I
That
think
is
that
the nature
I
of the
think
crisis.
the nature
that
of the
we're being
As
descended
touchstone.
upon
Bam,
by the outside world.
the
Yeah.
outside world
I
is,
wants to like burn down
the
this
outside
house.
world is coming to get us. While we are in the midst of this trial, we're having this trial whether or not we're going to kick the boogeyman out of Hurtview Manor because he's endangering or it is endangering us. But as we're having the trial, the danger that we're also worried about
just arrives.
shows up.
And so you're like, I was right.
Yeah,
I was right.
that's right. But
He is
the-
guilty,
he
but
is
now you have to
guilty.
deal with it.
So now we kind of each take turns painting a picture of the crisis by describing what our character sees happening
Yes.
around them. You
Okay.
say where you are and say what you see, but we don't take any action yet.
Not
just
yet.
sort of
and
like
that could maybe be
where
where
we are,
your
what we see.
your charity stuff comes in, what you're seeing or whatever,
Oh, okay.
if you want.
I actually had a different idea
Good, then go
where
with
the
it, yeah.
father,
Yes.
the insane axe murderer father,
minister faithfully.
Minister Faithfully, manifests with this like murderous look in his eyes and a ghost axe in his hands as these people are like tearing down and burning and destroying. And so there's a new priest. It's been a few years. There's a new
Yeah.
priest. In fact, the new priest is a Catholic priest. So the minister's really angry, like, Hosanna, I'm going to kill him.
Oh, it's a Protestant Catholic sort of
And
dichotomy.
the Catholic priest like sees him, but brandishes his really elaborate crucifix, which is
Yeah.
really elaborate, and chants the Lord's Prayer. And Minister Faithfully's eyes like catch flame, like the sun remembers,
Yeah.
and that flame spreads to the rest of his ghostly body, and his ghostly essence is destroyed.
It's just destroyed.
By this new up-and-coming young hotshot Catholic priest, straight out of theology school at the Vatican itself.
There it
So
is.
he's like well-trained.
Hearing the noise from the
Commotion,
trial
yeah.
and the commotion and rising up with everyone as everyone else rises up out of the cistern or wherever we are having this trial.
Yeah, we're having the trial in the cistern.
He's the well-dressed suicide
But is the
sees-
body of the girl
Yeah,
lying
exactly.
in there, by the
We're-
way?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get the body of that girl. Something happened with her.
And so he sees this mob entering the house, busting through the doors, through the windows.
Yeah, they've used like their Ford trucks to like tie ropes to the iron gates and
Oh,
like,
yeah,
pull
and
them
they pull the
down.
gates
Wrench
down,
it open.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like wrench it open, and they're coming in with torches and axes.
And he sees Charity cowering off the grounds near the gate behind a tree.
Yes, I'm seeing a mob of the living beginning to break their way into Hurtview Manor. I'm in the nursery. I'm sort of looking out of the windows and seeing all these torches and axes and all these people. And I'm seeing the spirit tree starting to like rise up out of the ground and
a
start to
hanging
like
tree.
attack them, basically,
no, a
like
hanging
tree.
swinging its arms and stuff like that.
That's my
Swinging
favorite
its branches.
character.
I know
in
you
this
love
game.
that hanging tree. I know you love that hanging tree.
All right. So now, what do you do? That's the next step
I
in the crisis. You can save your own skin and escape, or try and save, or
So
destroy the kingdom.
I'm very my wishes all this time has been very community based.
That's
so,
true.
My character is very into staying here and like cares a lot about the community. So the boogeyman is going to do like his most like potent thing, which is very dangerous to him. To like save the community, he's gonna spread his essence out in like stretch it out into the whole grounds where the
Yes.
people are to like fill them with fear.
Yes.
So I'm like so they can run away or die of fear or kill each other. I don't know what I'm doing.
They start going nuts.
Yeah,
They
I want to
start
I'm like, I need to
seeing-
save this kingdom or we will all fall, and I cannot let that happen. So I make the ultimate, I don't know how sacrifice, but it's very dangerous for me. But I spread
your
into the
essence
minds
is
of everyone.
spreading,
Yeah.
and it's almost like everyone starts tripping out on LSD. They're seeing hallucinations.
Yeah.
They're paranoid.
This is like kind of because I
They're
eat
starting to
fear,
just
so there's
freak out.
fear in me. So I'm
Exactly. You're expending all your fear
Yeah.
energy into them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the well-dressed suicide goes to the baby doll
Oh, that's me.
and using some strength it has removes one of its eyes. One of the
You
baby
pull
doll's
one of my eyes
eyes.
and we're like struggling.
Which one? The glass one or the button one?
Oh, the glass one.
Pulls out the glass eye.
and sort of shimmers through glass and then appears in a glass of a Ford truck near the gates. And sort of walks over to Charity and holds the eye out to her, and she takes it and starts to scoop out one of her own eyes.
Yep. Baby doll has the same sort of feeling. Now that the kingdom is under attack, safety has been breached, justice has not been done, everything's going to shit. I think Baby Doll's big issue is that they've always known they're going to go to hell if they pass on. They cannot die, or it's bad news. Baby Doll finds its way to Charity and snuggles up into Charity's arm, whispering, "Take me away and I will protect you. Take me."
And the dog comes too.
Sure. Spirit dog. Spirit dog's there.
Whew. Okay, so you're a vote. That means that you're automatically voting.
I'm automatically.
No,
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
because you're running away.
I am escaping. I am attempting to escape.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now we're voting?
So now, I think effectively, so we vote. Do we?
Okay, so now this is the player voting, not the character
This is
voting.
players,
That's right.
So I'm going to say, I thought initially when you were reading it out, I'm like, I think the kingdom's going to die. But I think what could be interesting is the kingdom is diminished, but takes most of the original ghosts vanish, but all these new people kind of become the kingdom.
Well, I feel like that's
that's a no?
that's a missing piece. Sorry that I didn't mention.
Yeah.
Is I really would love to describe Charity as we come upon her.
Yeah.
Well-dressed suicide. She's eating
people?
boy in green. She's
she's
eating
eating
him.
the boy
Sucking
in
him
green.
in.
So yeah, not only is she eating living, she's eating undead or the
Okay,
spirits as
so
well.
I know, but the problem is I don't know if that counts as the kingdom surviving. Or
Well,
the
I'm
kingdom
just
dying.
wanting to make sure that I got
Right.
that in here. 'cause
Yeah. I see
that was a piece I really wanted
he's,
to.
He's laughing while doing.
Yeah,
because
yeah. He's laughing
crazy.
while she's eating his
Yeah.
his spirit essence.
and he drools on her.
yeah,
Spirit drool.
spiritual.
So
Ectoplasm.
what I'm hoping is that the mob will become the new ghosts and they will become what they fear the
Oh,
most.
yeah.
So, but I don't know if that counts as surviving or destroying.
Well, they're
what I-
dying of fright, maybe, and repopulating.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what and we can kind of if it survives, I guess. Well, let's just vote.
Let's
Should
vote.
it survive?
I'm going
or
to say
not?
yes.
All right, I'm going to say it survives as
And
well.
I'm escaping, so I
Yeah.
automatically say no. But
Yeah.
we have
So-
a majority saying it does
and
survive.
this
Awesome.
is my concept is the whole place sinkhole collapses on
Yeah.
itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all the people on the grounds are sucked in
Okay.
to the thing
And
and,
die.
buried.
Yeah.
And just you see arms and they're pulled
yeah.
under, and it's just a plot now.
Yeah.
Like an empty plot. And Charity is running off with the doll.
Yeah.
The dog
Doll
can't
in one
the
arm.
dog can't make it past the gate.
Nope.
Because you didn't sanction it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It
you
didn't
need
sanction
to let
the
that
dog.
happen
Yeah.
to the dog.
And we'll kind of figure out what happens to your character, so that's sort of maybe the state of the kingdom now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that it's this depression in the earth.
Yeah.
And that's where that's sort of what
So maybe we didn't start off on cursed land, but we sure ended
We've
up
created
in
it.
cursed
Yeah.
so
Created the cursed burial ground.
so now I think we go around and just kind of describe what happens to our characters in that, and that'll kind of
Yeah.
Okay.
follow us out.
So do you
right?
want to start, Joe?
Sure. Yeah. So I'll say that some time passes, and basically the well-dressed suicide just stands watching this
Happen.
place in the ground.
Watching with one eye?
Well, he has no eyes at all. This is he gave the eye to Charity.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Oh,
And
he
that's how
did
the
give
doll-
it to her.
She
That's
has your
right.
eye.
Right, so that's how she was able
That's
to
right.
stay to carry your spirit.
She
with
didn't give
her.
you her eye in return?
No. there's none of that. So
Mangled it.
Yeah.
the water rains in and fills this
yeah.
depression, and I kind of sink in, and you can just see like shimmering in there in occasional reflections my face. In the
Yeah.
Oh, because you're all about
You're
reflections.
all about
Yeah.
reflections. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So yeah, I think that Charity and Baby Doll become like an urban legend, like this, because she stops growing when she leaves. Charity stops growing when she leaves Hurtview, and she's stuck in this like. She was a baby when she first came to us, so it's probably like 5 years have gone by, something like that. So she's stuck as like a 5 or 6 year old, like almost like Interview with a Vampire style, right? But she carries around Baby Doll because they are connected.
With the eye.
Yeah, they're connected by the eye. And so there's just this urban legend of this 6-year-old girl who like eats people, who has this baby doll, but it's always looking for kids to play with. So she doesn't kill children, but she like tries to find her way into their house and kill their parents.
So the boogeyman, having stretched himself the moment the house like collapsed, stays like. So what happens is all these people that he was in, all these people. So I'm going to say he is fueled by that. He becomes more powerful. However, he's stuck in this like stretched state.
Yeah.
So he's a lot less of an individual now, and he has become this like fear aura
Yeah.
of this place. Yeah. And so when people come, what they're feeling is the boogeyman's like
It's there.
fear in it. So the boogeyman can do a lot less, but survives. Whatever survives in quote marks, in the area as like a cloud.
Yeah.
Can I also say the tree?
Yes.
The hanging tree is in the center of
Yes.
the lake.
The
just,
hanging
like,
trees in the
sticking up.
center.
And people like are like, oh my god, when they come by, they feel scared and they see this like tree in the middle. And every so often, people are like, wait, the limbs weren't that position. Were they? No. And they sometimes see the tree move, but like that's like this mystery.
Yeah,
of this
creepy
place. Yeah.
tree.
And maybe
It's
every
in the middle
so,
of a big pond at
Yeah.
this point, right?
Yeah.
and every so often, some people report seeing a hanging figure on the tree, but like maybe they're just seeing things.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Woo!
What a
Okay.
kingdom.
All right.
Yeah. So that
So
for
Hurtview
some reason that still
Manor
counts as our kingdom surviving.
Hurtview
Yeah.
Manor is
'Cause there's still
underground now. The
Yeah.
cistern maybe survive. There's like underground
area. So the
areas
ghosts are like.
now. Yeah, it could be
Well, and,
ghosts.
the ground, we still patrol the
Oh
ground.
yeah,
exactly.
And if something
The
constructs
gates still
there,
remain.
we'll still be
Right.
there.
Yeah, the gates still remain.
That's important.
Yeah.
That is important.
Great. Oh, wow. What a great kingdom. Nicely done, everyone. Jeez.
With that, our story ends. We'll return again with a new tale to spin to dare to entertain. I was one of your players, John Holt. You can find me on Twitter at Lord Joho. Ken, where can people find you?
You can find me, Ken Breese, all over the internet, but mostly Twitter and Instagram and my own website, OG Plus as well, at berlingsbeard.com, BERLINGS, beard.
And I'm Sharang Biswas. You can find me on Twitter at Sharang Biswas for my spelling. You can look at the credits of this show because I will not spell it out on there.
Well, it's been a real pleasure having you here, Sharang. Thank you so much.
My first time playing with this group, so that
Definitely
was
not the
wonderful.
last. Definitely not the last. This has been perfect. Thank you
was
for
great
coming
having
on
you.
the
Thanks a
journey
lot.
with us. Yeah, great.
All right. To learn more about the players and the engine in our story, please visit boardghost.com. You can attempt to pierce the veil and contact us at BoardGhostWorld on Twitter. Shout out through the ether if you have desires we can fulfill. Leave reviews and comments on iTunes, your preferred listening portal. Please take a moment to subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest episodes. We'd like to thank Pat Couples for our theme song and interlude music. You can find more about Pat at patcouples.tumblr.com or on his band's page, hotelsandhighways.com. If you're not alone in the void, share our stories. The more they are consumed, the truer they become.
If living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there, or has it been